Match commentary out at the Waikato Stadium this morning comes from Stuart Barnes and Miles Harrison.
Ladies and gentlemen, here they are.
Hello from Hamilton in the Waikato for England's last Test match chance on this tour. In aggregate terms, it doesn't look too bad, and of course, compared to recent tours, it is not. But England came here to win. Now can they make that jump from gallant loser to Test match victor against the team they seek to topple as the world champions? New Zealand certainly showed again last week in that 20-minute or so masterclass what they are made of. The England side, Dylan Hartley to start with Marler and Wilson in the front row. Jeff Parling withdrew yesterday, so Joe Launchbury is reinstated to partner the already recalled Courtney Lawes. Wood, Rob Shaw the captain, and a first start of the series for Billy Vunipola. Danny Kerr, Owen Farrell injured, so Ben Youngs, Freddie Burns, the first test halfbacks are back, and the first test centres are reunited, Kyle Eastman and Manu Tuilangi. Chris Ashton fills the wing space created by Tuilangi's move. Yard and Brown complete the 15. England bench, Dave Atwood in with the Parling injury, and Danny Cipriani in front of Stephen Myler, as was the case in Christchurch on Tuesday. New Zealand far from satisfied with their 2-0 lead. The papers this week have been full of things that the team could do better. Play for 4 quarters, not just 1 or 2. Technicals like dealing with the high ball or rolling the ball. But above all, the need to, as it was put in one paper, place the foot on the English throat. That's what the home nation wants tonight as their team looks for a 17th consecutive win. And if they do that, the world champions will have equalled a world record. Malakai Fekitoa, a first start for him. Let's have a look at the front row first. Tony Woodcock, Owen Franks and hooker Dane Coles. No change there. Ditto second row, Retallick and Whitelock. The back row, Jerome Kaino moves to 6. Richie McCaw, captain Kieran Reid back after his concussion problems. The halfbacks, the Aarons, Smith and Cruden. Cruden holds off Bowden Barrett. So with Conrad Smith injured, young Malakai Fekitoa partners Ma'a Nonu. And the back 3, Julian Savia, Corey Jane, and the standout man in Dunedin, Ben Smith. The bench, Liam Messam dropped to accommodate Reed's return, and Ryan Crotty into the 23 after Fekitoa's elevation.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you now please be upstanding for the singing of God Save the Queen and the New Zealand National Anthem. And to sing God Save the Queen, Rebecca Nelson. And to sing the national anthem of New Zealand, Lizzie Marbley.
Oh, 5-point defeat in the first test, followed by the solitary point defeat in Otago. On the scoreboard, England's getting closer, but Dunedin was deceptive. England opened the game up and played into New Zealand's hands. 3 quick tries later and England finished then with a flurry, but it was nothing but consolation. If Lancaster's men are to find victory, they have to discover how to control territory and tempo. 1 win would keep England firmly on track for 2015. 3 straight defeats in anyone's language is a setback.
Here's the haka. Nothing more All Black, nothing more New Zealand rugby than this. The replacement led it. The local chief, the squad together on a ground where New Zealand have only lost once before in 11 previous tests. Is it to be 3-0 or 2-1? When it comes to the destiny of the series, this match means nothing. The trophy already awarded, but this match means an awful lot besides. And both teams know it. This does not feel like a dead rubber. Jerome Garces has been on the line for the last 2 weeks. His turn today to be right in the middle. So much at stake whenever these two meet, and especially at the moment, a year out from England 2015.
Yeah, England know a victory here will really set them back on track, because the next game they play is against New Zealand at Twickenham. If they can win that, it's 2-2 against the Blacks, and they have the momentum. It's a massive game for England, and in some ways an even bigger one for New Zealand.
It's something big if England win today, regardless of the series score. And that is not the confident start that the team needed to see from fly half Freddie Burns at the kickoff. Of course, he settled into his game so well in the first test, but an early mistake gives the early chance for momentum in the match as well as the series to the All Blacks.
It's a surprising kickoff because Burns kicked left to right really well in Auckland, and that was a little late switch there, which is a difficult kick. He's had one good test. I'd have thought England would say just get into the game and settle in. That was quite a complicated play that went wrong.
Aaron Smith, to put it, not at his best in this series, but clear signs of sharpness last week. Not too sharp there, Kieran Reid. Back in after all those concussion problems, and the poor kick-off from Burns actually has no detrimental effect as England get the penalty.
Well, now we see if the kick-off does have any effect upon Freddie Burns. His forwards have helped him out there. Ben Young's a really good start there. That's scrappy from Kieran Reid. That was a rusty start from last season's World Player of the Year. The Leicester scrum half got to him, all over him, and it gives Burns a real chance now to give England the first lead. It's 46 metres out, but it's bang in front of post. But I will say, it's clear at the moment, but it has been squally to heavy rain all day here, and the non-kicking foot will be slippery. Burns has to make sure that he gets really good purchase with his left foot.
It's a greasy surface out there. And Burns 4 from 4 in the first test. Immaculate then, but not at the start tonight. England given that early opening to get onto the scoreboard, not taken. After that excellent work from Ben Youngs, putting pressure on Kieran Reid back in the side.
Well, sluggish start for Reid, and a nervy one for Freddie Burns.
Cruden restarts. On home turf, of course, Aaron Cruden. A lot of debate here about whether Beauden Barrett should start now. But Cruden holds off that challenge, based as much on last year's form, his recent form, his Mike Brown.
Did Mike Brown take that back in?
That is what New Zealand and McCaw are pointing out, so another mistake made by England here. Won't get too many chances to atone. Got it from the kickoff.
No, your mark is here.
What about now?
New Zealand have just marched 50 metres upfield. It was a really good kick from Cruden. You compare that to Freddie Burns. Kieran Reid got to the ball, and then Brown tipped it back into his 22 and made an elementary error.
Thrown by Dane Coles. Now the starter with Miolano, his experienced backup. Aaron Smith wants it. Long ball into midfield, and Nonu. Some space there for Nonu initially. Picked up by Corey Jane. Aaron Smith again. Well, England might be a man down here on the far side. Savir going for the corner. And getting into the corner. They have the series. Today is about applying the sword, and that is a poor start from England in quite a few ways. But defensively there, they were undone, and Savir is in again, now has 21 tries in 22 internationals.
And once again, in the early stages of a game, England gets so narrow. Brown is the last man. He's got 15 metres to try and make up against Savir. It's happened at Twickenham last year when New Zealand blitzed England in the first 15 minutes. It happened with Marlon Yard a few times in the first test. England are very narrow. New Zealand have got the skills to just say, OK, we can play outside you. And they don't just have the skills, they've got a man who can bust Mike Brown like that, Julian Savir. That is a horrendous start for England. It is a threatening one from the All Blacks.
And that rain coming down again, quite heavily now. And Cruden just unable to add the extra 2 points, but a bonus start for New Zealand. And so much of that try self-inflicted by England.
Yeah, Aaron Smith does well. Lovely little wriggle there out of Ashton, the one-hand roll ball, and then Savir one-on-one. There's not many stop him.
From allowing the position in the first place to then allowing the finish. New Zealand do not need to be asked twice in those situations. Aaron Smith meant for Savir to chase. He was outside his 22.
And New Zealand's time to make a first unforced error there, and Aaron Smith really disappointed there. Played a lovely role in that try, but he's a much better box kicker than that.
So can Rob Shaw's England profit from the mistake? It goes to the captain from Dylan Hartley. Off the bench last week, Hartley starting this week. Rob Webber having had the starting role in Test 1 and 2. Ben Youngs got the call from the referee and responded. Only Tuilangi back in midfield this week. Smith coming through offside. Referee has given it. It's advantage England. And then as the ball is dropped by Freddie Burns, he will be able to pick it up again and put it on a kicking tee.
Well, that's one of the easiest offside decisions Gar says we'll ever have to make there. Offside at the ruck. This is England's drive. First of all, Ben Youngs coming around on the side, trying to get Tuilangi on the burst. Keep your eye out for number 9, Aaron Smith. He comes round the side there. Ball is not out. In drives Ben Youngs out of position.
this case, keep your time.
Burns' brother Billy, of course, involved in the success for the under-20 side in the final of the World Championship in Auckland last night. What a weekend for the family it would be if England won this one. Well, they are on the ball themselves now, courtesy of the boot of fly-half Freddie Burns. Exactly the kind of kick he would have wanted after his kick-off and initial miss with a penalty goal.
Now England do need to sharpen up at restarts. New Zealand have been very good in this area in this season. Again, Cruden doesn't tend to put much elevation. England struggle to get the jumpers up, and again, no time to get Launchbury up.
Got hands on it. There's Courtney Laws, his lock partner. And the flag is up from James Leckie on this near side, the Australian.
No, wait, please.
Nigel Owens is the other assistant to Jero Garces tonight. With Courtney Laws starting this week, having benched like Hartley last week. And Vunipola too. New Zealand not hanging around. Vunipola took out the ball, but the ball had gone. And Cruden runs onto it, and it's that danger man again. Savea cutting back inside. No wonder they love him.
That was majestic. That took me back to Lomu and his ability, giant man, to just pick up balls with those big mitts of his on the half volley. It's brilliant play from New Zealand first of all. England get very narrow. Eastman gets sucked in. He gives Cruden the break. And look at this for a pick-up. Steps off the inside. Nothing Ashton and Yard can do. Predatory finishing at the highest level. Eastman got sucked in. And as last week, Cruden eases into the gap. And this is a sublime moment. Slippery surface, off the left foot, inside Ashton, inside Yard. That is world-class finishing from a world-class winger.
Last week was his 5th try, Julian Savea, in 3 matches against England. He's gone on to 7 now. What a pickup. And what a beautiful change of direction. All done at blinding speed, and Cruden, having made the mistake last time with his angle, makes no mistake this time. Blistering start from New Zealand. 2 tries already, 2 for Julian Savea.
Defensive worries for England, really. Eastman got sucked in there. It opened up the hole for Cruden, but England also are defending very narrowly between the 15s. They're saying to New Zealand, go wide, and they are taking those holes.
Burns. Savea already on a hat-trick. Played just 10 minutes of the match. Corey Jane, they're going wide again, New Zealand. Fekatoa trying to find Ma'o Nonu on the inside. Of course, having Nonu there will be a reassuring presence. One of his heroes, of course. Fekatoa, who's been playing so well for the Highlanders in Super Rugby, and gets his chance today because of that injury to Conrad Smith, similar to the Cruden injury recently. Broken bone in the hand.
Actually, Nonu does him absolutely no favours there, because that's a poor pass behind Fekatoa, which slows him down. But it's a perfect start for the young Highlander. He didn't want to be sort of 10-0 down and chasing a nervous game. He's 12-3 up, and the Blacks have started on the front foot. It is exactly what Fekatoa would have wanted here. Dream start for the All Blacks, absolute nightmare for England.
Sorry. Yeah. Just bring your legs forward.
17 wins in a row for the Falls men if they win today, and that will equal the world record.
You understand?
Chance to break it then.
You lose the control.
The start of the Rugby Championship in Sydney against Australia in August.
That is not the place New Zealand will want to be going if they win today to break the record. You just cannot trust those Australians, who are playing pretty well, aren't they? Dominant in their series against an admittedly fraught French team, but Australia, they're starting to come as well.
Australia, who stopped their run recently in 2012 when they're on 16 wins with that draw in Brisbane at 18 all.
It's a very good contest. The both teams are under pressure with the ball in the middle.
But a game to be played here
It's a very
first.
good contest.
Jerome Garces has got to be very mature in his decision making and refereeing at the scrum, because it is so slippery out there. It's a real battle. You can see right now Joe Marler was just checking his studs, trying to get any little flecks of mud off there. It's very difficult to get purchased, so a little bit of leniency perhaps.
Marler and Wilson going through the series as the starting England props. They're not quite having the depth in that position in this particular trio of matches, and it's gone against Joe Marler.
Finding elbow on the ground, and that's a quick one there for Owen Franks. And you'd say in the first two tests, one of the areas where England have probably shaded it has been the scrum. Certainly in the first test, fairly level last week in the South Island, but right now just everything is going the way of New Zealand. Just keep an eye out for the left elbow, finding slips to the ground. Aaron Smith telling the referee, the assistant linesman tells him that's a penalty.
Whitelock checking the call. It wasn't to him, it was to Reed.
Seven, move.
World Player of the Year in 2013. This is better from New Zealand. He's talking about the home supporters wanting to see that, and they've got it with Cruden, and it's going out there again. Surely not once more. That is forward, I think, this time. Referee Garces has called them back. That will stop the smile from Cruden. But Savia nearly had that hat-trick.
Well, that's a real miss there. Ben Smith will be very annoyed with himself. That was on a plate there for Savia, but England are being cut open at the moment. They're being sucked in close to the breakdown. It's a brilliant drive. It's holding in people like Vunipola, but again, just a little loop ball, and England are all over the place, and this really should be a try. And you can see they're clearly forward, but England are narrow wide. They're hesitant tight, and they are being spliced to pieces by the All Blacks. It's pouring with rain, but New Zealand are just cutting them open at will.
Making it just too easy for the home team. Mistake there from Ben Smith. Didn't make hardly any errors last week. Almost perfect performance.
Because the problem is in this side, okay?
Again, England very down. There's a lovely little loop ball there by Nonu. Cruden, if he's under pressure, he doesn't look it. He's started this game spectacular form. He's just the catalyst for everything. He's running the show, and that really should have been a hat-trick inside, quarter an hour for Savia. Slight overrun as well, I think.
Vunipola goes against Kano, back at 6. His favourite position, although he's done a very good job of his return to international rugby at 8, and played there in that position for a long time for New Zealand. As Marler charged down as Retallick came through, but he was offside. What a good series he's had. At that time, he was just that little bit too keen, and England have a chance to clear.
Freddie Burns just take his time a little bit here. Decent touch. Solid line out. Drive this game, get into All Black territory. Since the Burns penalty, everything has been in the England 22-metre area, and New Zealand look like scoring a try every time they attack. Retallick, big man, left your picture, follows McCaw, goes through offside.
Hardly through the hands of Lords. England won't making those mistakes back home in the internationals. McCaw, Cruden, there's Corey James' turn to wait out wide here. And Marlon Yard, his turn to worry if it comes this way, but it's through the middle first, and Reed with big and drive here from Retallick as well. Referee playing advantage to New Zealand this time, and as England put a hand in there, Smith must take it from the mark.
They wanted to go quick, but I imagine now that New Zealand will probably take the 3 points. Let's push it out to 15-3. They're in disarray at the moment, and England just getting no ball at all. And when they get a chance of a line out, slippery ball straight through the hands of Courtney Laws there, and New Zealand so fast onto the breakdown. Soft hands from Kano. McCall looking much sharper than last week when he was on the back foot for 20 minutes. It's all quick ball for New Zealand. It's hands to the deck for England. And in the end, they have to concede a penalty just to slow New Zealand down.
Scored 15 points in the first test, Aaron Cruden. Well, New Zealand already have 15 in this, the third test, as Cruden slots the penalty goal. It's a slow walk forward from England towards halfway. They've got a lot to think about here. This could be a long, long night.
Stuart Lancaster's men have to take the pace out of this game for a moment. They don't go for the short one, they go long, trying to get some territory. 3 men in on Reid.
Almost going at a point a minute, as you can see. That is a horrendous start for this England team, who had become so difficult to beat. Not always won every game in recent times, but most people would agree, hard to get past. Vunipola, Davy Wilson, Youngs and Burns just sitting back a little bit there. Chip through for the midfield. It falls for Freddie Burns again. Ben Youngs, Joe Marler. England needing a reply here. Richard McCaw's come through there and
from the side, red form.
into the side, the call. Penalty England.
Should be looking for the 3 points here early in the game. Garces catches Richard McCaw. Pretty blatant there. Decided to slow England down. Probably thinking we've made a great start. 15-3. 3 points isn't the end of the world. Watch McCaw from the left, from the side, straight over there. Cynical as you like. Knew exactly what he was doing.
Got to get this really. England have to take every chance. And he's done it. Freddie Burns.
Well, stabilised Burns' game. There was a clever little chip which he got his hands on. That led to the pressure, and then he turned that pressure into 3 points. It's a good little minute for Burns. England needed it. They need lots of good little minutes at the moment.
Taken by Marlon Yard. There's Tom Wood. Talking the week about how he's getting sick of these near misses. Well, England not that close at the moment. There goes Jane, Corey Jane. Steve Hansen has asked him to just calm down. Go back to the way he plays the game, not worry about anything else. It's feel that the wing has not been at his best. This man has returned from a knee injury so well. That's Ivan Vunipola on Cruden, and the referee immediately gave the penalty and went pretty quickly towards the pocket area, and Billy Vunipola is not given the benefit of the doubt there at all by Jerome Garces. That's 10 minutes in the Simbian that England could ill afford.
Well, it's always exaggerated when a big man goes on a smaller player, and you see there, it is not that much intent there. It starts quite low and then rises up.
It's clear with the arm. No option for me. No.
Boy, isn't Cruden moving all over the place. Really well there.
Just building his form and confidence after that injury, and Vunipola is coming in to freshen things up at his extra weight. Heaviest in the team at 126 kg, and no doubt Cruden would have felt it. He didn't try and milk it, to be fair.
Joe Launchbury off, Dave Atwood on. And that does not look as if it's blood, does it?
England lost Jeff Parling to a hamstring injury this week. Launchbury wasn't in the original selection. Lost his place with Courtney Laws returning. No, that doesn't look good for Launchbury, so Atwood comes on to win his 12th cap. And there goes Dane Coles, bursting out the touchline, and it's come off Ashton. And England nearly conceding another in that ill-fated corner for English rugby in the first half here at the Waikato Stadium.
And New Zealand are just thinking so much quicker than England. They're dozy as heck at the moment. Ashton saves the day with probably his hip. Cole's very clever there, the inside ball, and Ashton just tracks back and makes sure that inside try-scoring pass does not go to hand. But now New Zealand in A1 position, 15 against 14. They're going for the jugular after 20 minutes.
Coles might have backed his extra weight that he's put on for this international season, 3 or 4 kilograms, told to do that, and he was charging at pace there. And the chance for now has gone away, but the chances just keep on coming, and Steve Hansen will be delighted in general with the start made by his side this evening.
What are England going to do now? Because Vunipola's in the bin. Tuilagi looks like he's going onto the blind side to use his considerable bulk to scrummage. Tom Wood or Rob Shaw could go to number 8. Wood has gone in there, and Tuilagi has to scrum.
There goes Wood. It's a ball England simply had to retain, having committed Tuilagi to the scrum, and they did, and Ben Youngs clears.
A very important 9 minutes or so now for England. They're 15-6 now. They've been utterly outplayed. But remember, at the quarter-hour mark, New Zealand were the team outplayed last week.
Quick ball again. Fakatoa comes into the contest the way that he's been playing in the Super Rugby season. His opposite number Tuilagi makes that tackle for England. And another on the All Black skipper. Aaron Smith to Tony Woodcock, who scored the try in the World Cup final. Smith again, Cruden, Nonu. And goes Tom Wood. Xavier offloads, finds Kine over there, it's Ashton stealing it for England. Ben Youngs, Dylan Hartley, Mike Brown gives him the call because he can provide that angle with the left boot. And it's a fine kick from Brown, but Ben Smith is not going to hang around. And from not the greatest angle, he got a lot on that. Brown again, caught by Smith. Through goes Retallick, boot on it there. And anything could have happened, but it's still on here for New Zealand. Smith to McCall, Nonu. Fakatoa goes for the handoff. Oh, look at the youngster go. Exciting the crowd in his first start for his country. But then the ball doesn't come back, and England get a reprieve.
So does Mike Brown. That was terrible play from the Harlequins fullback. He can do that in the Premiership. He can do that against some of the teams in the Six Nations. He looked up then on that counter-attack. There were 2 New Zealanders coming towards him, and Brown had to kick that ball. He took them on and was utterly isolated, and that was a deadly turnover there. The Harlequins fullback, very fortunate that he didn't cost the decision-making from England in his first 25 minutes. It's just not good enough. That was so naive.
Scored a try, has Elijah David. And Burns out on the full. England being smothered, given no space.
Well, they're very rattled at the moment, aren't they? I mean, they're playing 14 against 15. They're trying to counter-attack, and then they're putting a ball.
This for England. That's scarce at the moment, though. Cruden went backwards. Starting to run the show, isn't he, Fekitoa? Reed loves that channel on from Smith to Jane. Jane stepping ball inside, and Aaron Smith breaks back like a razor. It's going to be checked.
George, can you have a look, please? Between the 22 and the 14.
Forward pass,
Yeah,
Corey Jane, unfortunately for Marland Yard, leaves it for dead. It's a tackle that has to be made. George Ayew checking there's not a forward pass there. But Yard left for dead there by Jane, and he had to make that tackle.
There are players back from there.
I don't think there's any doubt Aaron Smith gets in. It's the pass before it. And again, you know, England's defence, one-on-one tackles, not good enough. That doesn't hit the hand.
No, there was no knock on there.
No. If that is purely what it is, then there is no reprieve for England here.
I, like you, thought later in the move there might have been a question mark on a pass, but even then,
it's not there, though, is there?
But it's not there.
Left heel, he waits. He's very calm.
There
That's
is
the
no
issue.
clear and obvious knock-on for me. Yeah.
It's a try.
Okay, thank you.
And Chris Robshaw is asking about whether it should have been the pass to be looked at, but too late now. Aaron Smith has got his score, and they promised to open up today in New Zealand, and they are doing exactly that.
Look at this. I'm afraid that's not good enough from Marland Yard. Forward pass or not, New Zealand have punctured England. I don't think it is, to be honest. I just think it's England at the moment being outclassed, and especially they're being held in the midfield and sucked wide and destroyed in those wide channels.
And Cruden getting a chance to practice his kicking from all angles, and he's been practicing well. Become a very reliable boot in the absence of Dan Carter. But there's the miss from Yard again, and it doesn't get any better, does it?
Just have to make those tackles. You know, England very proud of their defence under Andy Farrell, and it's just not good enough at the moment. Both the system and the tackles themselves crumbling under pressure. Real pressure, and some great play from New Zealand. I hasten to add.
Kino. Smith. So looking much sharper this week. New Zealand in general. At the moment, England blunt in comparison. Just about all that they're doing. Here's Launchbury back on after that assessment to the head knock. And Joe Marler. Youngs. Burns. Sarvia had covered it. Cruden. Ben Smith. At his happiest at fullback. Mike Brown. A bit more like it from Mike Brown. And through the middle goes Wood. Robshaw. As England look for something now. Wilson. Youngs. Burns. Tuilangi leaves it. Courtney Laws and Tom Wood. And that was always going to go wrong. Even if all he can do is watch at the moment in the sin bin, although that's coming towards its conclusion.
Here's the missed tackle again, you know, his right shoulder there. He's just come slightly too far across. He should be giving Corey Jane a bit more of the touchline. He's inexperienced. He's gone a metre too far, and he's really tempted Jane to step off his right foot, and he's done it. And Tuolangi cannot get back to stop the scrum half there. Had to show him the touchline there. Grant Fox behind Steve Hansen applauded. They know that's an outstanding first 30 minutes for New Zealand, and England suddenly a very naive team.
How long for the yellow card?
It's going exactly to plan, physically and psychologically here for New Zealand. It's what they wanted to happen today as the series went on.
Keep walking, keep walking.
They're hitting their stride. England are faltering badly here.
Crouch.
You can make a fist of a test match from a 16-point deficit. Problem is, at the moment, England are just being utterly outplayed, being outfought, and they're being outmanoeuvred.
Reed to Smith. Oh, that's good.
First test in Auckland, England were able to exert some real pressure at the scrum. Aaron Smith had some difficulty going backwards. That scrum, beautiful right hand there from Franks, and it gives the scrum half a chance just to play territorial pressure game.
Spree. Pressure put on by Reed after that early error. He's got into his stride. Away by Ben Youngs. Now Corey Jane won't get a chance to take it quickly, but for once New Zealand perhaps not looking for that pace. Quite happy where the line out is. Vunipola looks an angry man. This is what New Zealand wanted to do, get that more going again. Then McCall to Smith and Jane. You can see his confidence flooding back. And why not in a situation like this? Kaino, good offload to Woodcock. It's all working. The machine, the All Black machine.
They're trying to do to England what England wanted to do to them.
Smith caught in possession that time, and there could be an interception with the referee. Takes them back, takes Kyle Eastman back. Didn't see too much of him with ball in hand. In fact, that might have been first time in the match. Penalty was already awarded at the breakdown.
Yeah, I was making the point, how many times in the first half hour, for all the brilliance of the backs, have we seen the All Blacks pack driving England from mauls, picking and going? It's almost like they've looked at England and said, that's what you do better than us. We're going to look you in the eye and we're going to beat you at even what you're best at. It's a very impressive start.
And they're looking England in the eye here.
Yeah.
Vunipola coming out of the sin bin, but New Zealand saying, we don't want the 3 points anymore, we want more than that. Talked about the psychology in the statement. Well, here's one here now.
Look how flat Aaron Cruden is staying. You can't see on your shot Corey Jane there, but he's 3-4 paces, no more behind, and he'll be really flat if they want that ball. He's given England no time to reorganise in the midfield.
Reed to Smith. Here's Cruden. Then Fekatoa has a go. Smith with James, a good line. Offloads to Whitelock. Robshaw doing his best, but the England captain, the England team on the rack here. Ben Smith again, stolen. And Launchbury has it on the floor. Ben Youngs looking for maximum distance. He would somehow try and get the ball towards halfway, but it's tough out there.
Yeah, at the moment though, Miles, actually distance isn't ideal for England. What England need is that ball off the pitch. Dunedin, they just kept it alive and they got absolutely slaughtered. At the moment, they've just got to try and take the tempo out of it. They're making no distance, they can't escape.
Here's Cruden and Fekatoa. Carl Eastman, Manu Tuolangi played so well together in the first test. This is a different sort of test. Ben Smith, a little dummy, he's got support inside. Rossavia got a brace, and now Aaron Smith has to applause from the coach. And this, the kind of treatment England had been used to in this country in recent times, and it's coming at them now from all angles here in the third test of this series.
Well, England are shell-shocked now. Dummy on Yard's flank. He waits there. He hasn't got support coming. Burns can't make the tackle. Ben Smith picking the sort of line we saw from Conrad Smith last week, but instead of going wide, tells the dummy to Yard, looks inside. Aaron Smith there. The Highlanders 1-2. The scrum half on hand. Celebrating for tries. 4 tries already. And New Zealand are racing away. 29-6. And they deserve that lead. England are being absolutely outplayed, outclassed.
Well, in Dunedin last week, England scored their highest total ever in New Zealand in a test match. And they lost by a point, but scored 27. Just wonder what New Zealand can muster here tonight, the rate they're going. Their highest against England, 64. Dunedin again, 1998 tour of hell. This is pretty hellish for England. What is happening here at the Waikato Stadium? Launchbury. Youngs, Rob Shaw. Rare attack for this England team tonight. Stopped by Woodcock, and the crowd loved that. Ball dislodged. And Freddie Burns goes back. Ben Smith will enjoy this. He's got a lot of space in front of him. He's going to use the boot, but he's going to use the boot very well indeed. And Tuilangi didn't know where he was for a moment. England don't know where they are.
Well, that was an aimless kick from Freddie Burns. Here we see Vunipola losing out to Tony Woodcock. His physical power that suffices at a certain level in the Northern Hemisphere coming to nothing here. And Ben Smith exploited the fact Manu Tuilangi was not concentrating.
Woodcock's got it again. The old man not looking so old at the moment, is he? That's Billy Vunipola. Richie McCaw. Aaron Smith finding England hands on it. Vunipola's. Jerome Kaino. All the All Blacks are in the mood here, aren't they? Retallick taking great satisfaction from all aspects of their play. It's Kaino's gone off his feet there, just gone flying in. It was all going so well. Coles have taken it on. Ben Youngs fed up with this, says give it to Chris Ashton, and Ashton goes up the touchline. Here's Ben Smith, but okay, we can play this game as well. Second toe, head down, tackled again by Eastman. England get it back on their side. Referee playing advantage, then a knock-on from Youngs, I think.
Knock-on by Black. No advantage because there is another knock-on by White. Scrum.
There's the dilemma. It was a very clever decision by Ben Youngs to go with Chris Ashton. The kick's a good one, and then Ben Smith, so good, he's so composed. Suddenly, England, from making the right option in trying to get themselves back in this game, are under threat. And in the end, they forced the knock-on there and a slight pause in the pressure, but only the slightest pause.
What a great match to make your debut, or starting debut in.
From the side.
He was 8 runs and 82 running metres made, but it's so easy, it's been opened up for him. The forwards are doing some incredibly hard work through the middle to hold England in, and then Cruden and Nonu are just fixing men, and the back boys, the back 4, outside centre and back 3 are having a field day.
Vunipola to Ben Youngs, Carl Eastman. He might have gone through the legs of McCaw there. There's Yard going across to the other wing. Youngs, Burns, Courtney Laws. Burns again. Marler can't take it. Cruden, the chief skipper, on his home ground, along with Brodie Retallick.
The first man on his feet. It's a good contest. You are the first man on your feet. No advantage.
Well, Steve Hansen will be thinking patience, very much a virtue in terms of selection. A huge part of New Zealand's public and press have been clamouring for Beauden Barrett to start, but on his home patch in Hamilton, Cruden has gone really well. Nonu fired up after an awkward first test. It's been very hard for England. How many times have England lost ball in contact? And as we approach half-time, you have to say New Zealand are on a different level to anything we've seen so far. So are England, unfortunately. The pressure has been applied by the All Blacks. England have not been able to play under that pressure. It has been a stark and horrendous first 40.
Reid, all the protection that the scrum half would want. Aaron Smith, Mike Brown would do well just to let this go, just make sure. First test, it was 9-all at half-time. Second test, England were up last week, 10-6. It's a little bit different this week. Half-time, New Zealand 29, England 6. Thanks, Alex. Welcome back to Hamilton. About to get underway then for this second half, and England have made a change. Luther Burrell is on the field. And it doesn't look like Kyle Eastman is out there, so a change in that England midfield. Porous midfield in the first half. And Aaron Cruden gets us underway. England rather set the tone, didn't they, with their kick-off to the match. Never actually recovered from that. Can New Zealand start where they left off? And a New Zealand change as well. As you can see, Messam is on, and Reid, 40-minute reintroduction into rugby after those recent concussion issues, takes his leave.
Big job, isn't it, for Burrell to sort out this defence. He's come on specifically to do that and give England some gain line momentum.
There he is, on the ball. But it's turnover ball. Little flick inside to Marnonu. Who's from Aaron Cruden, who's right back on top of his game tonight.
Substitution for the All Blacks at half time.
England get the early penalty, as they did in the first half. This one not kickable.
You must have the ball. You take the space.
Big cheer for Messam coming on, but he knows he's got to make every minute count now. Kieran Reid just been eased back into Test match rugby undoubtedly at the moment. New Zealand's best back row combination, Kano on the blind side, Reid and McCaw. So big test for Messam, which will not make things any easier for England at the breakdown.
Messam was the player's choice as their player of the Rugby Championship last year from New Zealand camp. Of course, with McCaw, Reid and Kano back now. Competition even for him. Launchbury, good ball inside to Ben Youngs as England look to get off on the right footing in this second half. Manu Tuolangi nearly there. Ben Youngs goes in, Marlon Yard has it, he's got it down, and Yard scores like he did in the second test. Totally different situation. That time it was to get England on their way to what they hope will be a victory. Maybe today is about saving face now, but at least England have the right kind of start to this second half, and it's Marlon Yard again.
Great play from Joe Launchbury, the offload there, and Ben Youngs does this so well, steps inside Ben Smith, and then Tuolangi, his strength just keeps New Zealand on the back foot, and Yard, he's had a horrible afternoon defensively, but he's a real predator close to the line. This is a super offload, left hand there, little pop pass there, and Ben Youngs is quick. That's a great step to leave Ben Smith for dead. Tuolangi's strength takes him so close, it has three New Zealanders backpedaling. Yard sees the opportunity as Cole slips, and he's over. That's a great start for England, exactly what they needed.
You almost see the coach's words ringing in their ears, if that makes sense. Just in all that they did there. And Freddie Burns gives his side the jeer after the extra 2 points from the conversion. Doesn't look quite so bad now, but still a lot of work to be done. And remember, England will be throwing forward mentally to November. And of course the World Cup after that. It's important, just as last week when they came back into things and showed character at the end, that they do that again here. One thing this England side do seem to have in spades is character, and they've won another decision here. Good chase from Rob Shaw.
Well, 37 minutes left here, 16 points down. England get the next 7 points at 9 in it. Completely different game. It is a tall order, I'll grant you, but England have got to believe. You've got to remember they came here to New Zealand expecting to win a test match, hoping to win a series. Right now they are on the brink of something way below their expectations. They've got to find a big 40 minutes, and they've started the half really well.
Well, if they won it from here, it would be one of the greatest, if not the greatest, international comeback that you'll have witnessed. Bowden Barrett is on. So Cruden goes. And Mealamu 2. He comes on for number 2, Dane Cole. So interesting changes being made by New Zealand as well. England look to get the forwards going. Haven't really seen this at all tonight either.
Not really had the position, Miles, have they, to drive?
Hardly been inside the opposition 22. We'll go again. But Youngs wants it now, gives to try-scoring Yard, who's going once more. He's got the taste for it now as Marlon Yard. Might just have had a look there for support, which was trying to get on his shoulder, but he backed his strength again, having scored 2 similar tries in this series. There he goes.
It's good play from Ben Youngs. He's not going to get that down. Gar says he's in a superb position, but it'll be a scrum 5 England put in. Not too dissimilar to England's first try in Dunedin when the line out drove and Kerr just released Yard. Clever little play. Ben Youngs has started this second half a real crackerjack.
Well, they're fired up, aren't they? You can see it. They are hurting from their own performance in the first half, and also clearly from what's been said. Maybe not too much needed to be said at half-time.
Paint might not have been feeling, but I think the words were fairly pertinent.
Yeah.
This is very much Billy Vunipola territory here if England can get this scrum right. He'd love Bowden Barrett just on the field. He's a tough old defender, Barrett, but he wouldn't like Vunipola from 5 metres out if England just get this scrum in the right position.
England get this back at 29-20 in a flash at the start of the second half. Almost beyond their wildest dreams. Vunipola's going to have to react at some point, and the scrum went round too far.
Was him under pressure, the ball inside. No. It's not deliberate because the ball is on the middle.
Not deliberate. I'm saying it's the pressure of New Zealand forces it accidentally. And it's Franks who's had a good day from the very first scrum. He's been putting a bit of pressure on England.
Yeah.
Not the scrum they wanted for Billy Vunipola now. As England can come up with a counter scrum of their own.
It was good. The mark is here. No, put your feet here. Yeah, but the first time it was good. So you must find a solution.
There are a lot of lines, of course, on a rugby pitch. There are a lot of advertising as well these days. I just wonder if rugby will take a leaf out of football's book with the old spray can. Certainly for kicks of goal. Seems to be working a treat in the Football World Cup. Referee points out the mark here for this scrum. Key scrum. Kino now operating at 8, of course, in the absence of Reid, where he played the first 2 tests, brings the ball away. Here's Bowden Barrett, trying to pick up where Cruden left off.
Well enough done from New Zealand there, which is fantastic skills, but it's the basics they do well. Good driving play. Kano, excellent at that, a really powerful runner around the fringes. Just gave the space for Bowden Barrett. Clearly immediate pressure.
Launchbury and then Laws. Not the cleanest ball, but Ben Youngs is starting to make England tick from scrum half, but Tom Wood lost the ball. Now it's Barrett again. And the end result is that New Zealand have managed to just edge away a little bit more. Maybe not where the assistant's gone to stand on that far side. Ben Youngs really has started this second half very well indeed.
Ben Youngs is playing his best rugby in an England shirt, I think, since that halcyon period when he used to tear Australia to pieces. He's all over the place around the fringe, but he's getting a little bit of front football in territory where he can play, but he looks very sharp.
And he has been a bit of a leader in the group, been told on this tour. Starting to become one of the most experienced now. 38th cap today. That was Dylan Hartley being held up. He's got to get a ground and get the ball back, but he's fallen awkwardly. England get that back. It's really good work, but they haven't. It's Aaron Smith, then it's Whitelock, and it's on for Ben Smith, who finds Bowden Barrett and Corey Jane. Marlin Yard, no mistake with that tackle. So England, after that early, about 10-minute spell of pressure at the start of the second half, just the one try to show for it. Here come New Zealand again with Kino. Sakatoa, Young's in there once more. Davey Wilson driven off the ball, and it's Smith to Barrett. Retallick did well to get that pass in. Nonu. A lot of space there. Mike Brown trying to cover it. Oh, look at that from Nonu.
Vintage New Zealand play. Brodie Retallick, the gangly second row, is a master of being able to pull the pass back under pressure. No time at all, and he does brilliantly. Here's the turnover. It's Hartley high with Launchbury, but that pass by Retallick was absolutely wonderful, and then Nonu added the skill of his kicking game. England back under the cosh.
Retallick started this series supposedly not knowing the names of the opposition. They certainly know his now.
It's a ball! Back six!
Got it on the move again, England here. Now Youngs takes over. Yard on the chase, but Jane had support from Smith, who might look to switch it back that way. Yard wrestles with Smith, who does well. The New Zealand fullback Savir. In comes Ashton, needed to make that tackle. It's Bowden Barrett that took it on. Malachi Fekitoa to Owen Franks. Certainly played his part in the scrum tonight, now looking to do so in the loose. Fekitoa again, all energy. Savir too. Up to 7 tries now against England. Julian Savir with his 2 tonight. Aaron Smith on the ball now with the other 2 for New Zealand in that first half. First half, continual blitz. Tom Wood went in. Smith came through, saw it happening. Now it's back with Retallick. That could so easily have been England ball, but it is now with Tuilagi and Vunipola. But Aaron Smith, we said before, has returned to sharpness tonight. Fekitoa goes back, and he wants to keep this alive. He wants to show what he can do. Pounding forward. Savir's long pass to Barrett. That's covered actually by Freddie Burns. Goes for those little chips again. Needs to get on the end of it. McCaw was there. And Barrett again. Great pace to the game. Smith. Woodcock. And still What's he been eating this week? Smith again to Messam. He's got Ashton on his back, but he's going to need someone in front of him. Wilson tried. Young's too, but now it's Smith. And the scrum half will look to get in there again. Barrett, Retallick somehow managed to control the ball. Again under pressure. Nonu sets it back to Smith. This is Jane. Corey Jane, is there a way through there? No. Tom Wood makes sure there isn't. McCaw goes in. Kino takes on Launchbury. New Zealand want to resume the fair of the first half now. In goes Wood, but he's cleared out again, and it's Barrett who challenges on that gain line like he loves to do. Smith, Launchbury in with another big tackle. England much more organised in defence than they were in the first half. Could be much more disorganised than they were. And how that's hurt them on the scoreboard. Whitelock. Smith. Mialamu. Getting longer than his 20-minute trundle tonight. There goes Barrett. Savea lost. But all the time, it was advantage Tom Wood, the offender.
What if McCaw says to his man into the corner, please, let's try and drive England, one of their strong areas. There's been a little bit of resistance from England. You could think, no, maybe I take 3 points just to quell it, but I think the mood the All Blacks are in.
Not a chance.
No, they want to swipe England backwards and out of this game.
If McCaw had gone for 3 points there, he would have given credence to the England recovery. He's not going to do that.
Do you notice there, Chris Ashton was 15 metres in front of any other chaser there. And now he's got to look at support men. But England, the chase isn't as good as it should be at the moment. New Zealand just getting over the gain line, and Robshaw misses. Woodcock there.
Keep the line.
Here's Mialamu to Brodie Retallick. England much better in defence in this second half, and they're going to have to be again here. Smith. Oh, it's a long ball into midfield, and Nonu loves those. Tuilangi involved in another battle with Nonu, but Savea was there to help out. Then went Barrett, and again they're calling for support on that far side. Mike Brown feels vulnerable. No wonder with Savea on the field, but Savea's lost it that time. And it's Wilson, and England defend well again. Young's going wide. Ashton, what can he do with that? Will was saying at half-time he felt sorry for Chris Ashton, and once again, you've got to feel the same feelings there.
That's terrible from Dylan Hartley. England have got a free play from that knock-on. Ben Young sees the space, and Hartley, he knows that no harm is going to come from it, but the basics have to be better than that. And Ashton was furious, so disappointed.
England make a double change, Ben Morgan coming on and Kieran Brooks. David Wilson goes off a tight head, and Billy Vunipola.
Scrum white.
He's replaced by Morgan, who started the series so strongly. Held on to that place for the second test. Now the replacement in the third.
Well, they wanted impetus from Billy Vunipola, and quite frankly, it just hasn't happened tonight. He does seem depowered by Saracens. Disappointed end to the season, but he has not locked a top-level test back row on this tour. He's had a hard time.
It's a penalty for England. With Vunipola, it's important to remember he might be the heaviest, but he's also the youngest.
Yeah, he's a long season as well. And of course, when you're a young player, you learn. But he's got a lot of learning to take out of this tour. Some hard lessons taught, especially in this first 55 minutes tonight.
Kick from Burns. Safely into touch.
The mark is here. Yes.
Certainly it's interesting, the introduction of Burrell. It's not that he's had to make tackles, but there aren't just holes there for New Zealand.
Courtney Laws, spring-heeled Laws, pulls that out of the sky, back into the sky from Youngs. Not Yard had maybe more time and space than he thought there. No damage done. Youngs to Burns. Laws. Here's Ben Morgan. Luther Burrell was just slightly in his way there. Youngs. Burns. Corey Jane.
Come on, 20, move.
Bit of a kicking battle here, but that might land in space. So Ben Smith to the other Ben. England's Ben Youngs having this excellent second half. Sparking England back into life, Ben Youngs.
No, back in.
The players seem to be on the same page again. Freddie Burns and Julian Savea. And there goes Bowen Barrett, gliding. Beautifully done. Fekir. Ben Morgan tried to take him out. Ball's gone forward. Seemed like a try was very much on there.
Blistering acceleration from Bowen Barrett. He burned Manu Tuolangi off there. Picked a great line and some super skills there. Little inside ball. Look at this. He's gone. Fekir shows some lovely skills. He knows he has to pull two tacklers towards him, but England do very well. Ben Morgan doesn't get lured into Fekir's little spider's web, and he makes the tackle on Nonu. Brilliant play from the Hurricanes man, and Morgan just stays on his man and hurls him into touch.
On the line.
So in Franks goes. Charlie Faumuina comes on for his 20th cap. And Rob Webber is out there as well for Dylan Hartley. England change at hooker. Webber certainly put himself in the World Cup picture with his performances in Test 1 and 2.
Fine. Set.
Don't think Crockett's on yet. That's still Woodcock. On the loose head side. England penalty.
Well, we're halfway through the second half, and England have shown some character. They have won this half at the moment, 7 points to 0, and after the pacing they were taking for 40 minutes, that's a very good third quarter, but it's a missed penalty.
Well, Burns was going for broke there. Played a very disciplined game in the first test, readying himself back a little bit, but has gone forward from Corey Jane.
Classic New Zealand play. Brilliant up and under, fantastic chase from Jane. This time couldn't quite control it.
As we look at the New Zealand dressing room at half time, and Steve Hansen and Richie McCaw, England are making another change out there on the field with Danny Cipriani coming on for Freddie Burns at fly half.
Behind Hansen and McCaw, you see Ian Foster as well, talking to Aaron Smith, the scrum half, a crucial component in this team. It's been a really good battle at 9 because Ben Youngs has been excellent in the second half. Smith very good, and Cipriani, that's going to be interesting because under less pressure against the Crusaders, he showed real maturity and a fizz to his game. It's good to see him back in the Test Arena for 20 minutes.
And a balance to his game. And what an opportunity this is, as you say, in midweek against the Crusaders. He's keyed up 40 minutes and a little bit of measured rugby from Cipriani. Maybe a couple of times, could have gone when it was on. You can understand why he wouldn't want to overplay his card.
Although this might be an occasion if England are serious about winning this one. bit more than pragmatism is needed when you're 16 down to the All Blacks with 20 minutes left. This is the time for a little bit of that old Cipriani magic if it's still in the locker.
Yeah, could be made for him, this.
It's very hard, though. You can't expect much, especially with England's scrum again getting wheeled and shunted. Oof.
Wheeled and shunted, but the referee sides with England. Woodcock can't quite understand. And Cipriani makes no mistake with his touch find. And like Burns, his final act.
Well, New Zealand will be saying the last time there was a scrum like that, you said it wheeled round because the pressure from us on the English was too great. And now this time you're saying penalty. There's a world all of their own, front row.
Webber, Wood, Youngs. England back on the attack with them with Morgan and Yard. Yard takes them on. Always an angry man is Marlon Yard. England an angry team in this second half. Cipriani hands on to Mike Brown. Now could England show the killer touch that the All Blacks so often do in these situations? It is the challenge for the England team to make it count in this zone of the field, but Burrell loses it. And the whistle will go.
It's like a rocket, isn't he? Marlon Yard really has acceleration. I think he should have given the pass there. Too much pace for Marlon. I think ball in two hands here. He can look to get it away. Instead, Bowden Barrett's able to make the tackle. And then Luther Burrell cannot hold on to that slippery old ball. Try there might just have made it interesting with 18 to go.
Recommend stability, guys. Stability.
Well, it's certainly interesting. There has been a change since half-time.
Fine.
England want to make it a big change.
No, nine. Don't push. Don't push.
There's Nonu. Well, smarting from the yard run. Aaron Smith, his rejection of the kick there was brilliant. Retallick again, superb support, and then Smith caught, but once more referee Garces says the man is through too quickly, breaking the offside line.
They're just straining at the leash, aren't they, England? Just trying to force something. It was a clever bit of play from Aaron Smith, wasn't it? Little dummy and go. Barrett now. Won't be too ambitious.
Wyatt Crockett about to come on. Also Ryan Crotty. So Tony Woodcock does go now. And so does Malachi Fekitoa. His first start in New Zealand colours after a replacement appearance earlier in the series. And he looks a happy man with the way it's gone. And so he should.
Well played, Tony Woodcock as well. 140 metres plus there from Fekitoa. That's a good start. Played well.
Whitelock couldn't take it. Kino had come through. Referee gives the knock on. Handshakes all round for the 22-year-old Fekitoa, who came to this country from Tonga. A very serious accident in his youth, actually. Bounced back from that. Great credit to him. And to Wesley College. Of course, that Rugby Academy. Benalomu, Sidoveni Sidivatu, ex-pupils there.
And you could see today glimpses of class, but he definitely played with it himself. There's an awful lot more to Fekitoa than we saw today. That was a match just saying, my first start for New Zealand, let's put in a solid performance. And a bit more, he'll be pleased.
Scrum turning again, but Morgan gets it away. Two Youngs, Burrell and Tuilagi. Youngs, Cipriani just threads it through low.
Not really the result England needed. Marnonu, there you can see him getting done for toe. That pass should have gone. Burrell was clapping, he knew it should have gone to him earlier. Great break from Yard, but he didn't recognise the chance.
Matt Mullen has come on for Joe Marler. Joe Launchbury went off earlier for a knock. He goes again for Dave Atwood. More permanence about that change now. Yes, they're the chances that New Zealand take, and England simply have to. Remains the essential difference between the two teams. Free kick England. Rob Shaw and Morgan. Cipriani was going to be tight in there. As well, doesn't want to hold on for too long. All the time he's pushing it backwards. With a standing start there for Manu Tuilagi, and New Zealand realise that. They flood the breakdown, but England retain it. Good strength from Tuilagi. Rob Shaw, excellent hands again from him. Tom Wood. Nonu trying to turn him, but no chance there. Webber goes into Kevin Lialamu, the two replacement hookers. England having a lot of territory now in this second half. And Kieran Brooks, the Newcastle Falcon. Rob Shaw, Youngs. There goes the ever-willing Wood again. Inside that New Zealand 22. Back to Ben Youngs. Danny Cipriani. Manu Tuilagi. Again, England into the red zone. Cipriani and Morgan on his own here. Very close to the touchline, and Nonu likes those situations. Referee again brings back for a penalty. Pressure's not going to go away here for New Zealand.
Well, what England are doing really well, they're playing around the fringes, they're coming off Ben Youngs, they're getting forwards running, they're playing the game they should be playing, and there's going to be a word with Richie McCaw at the moment, but England have tightened up.
So now you must have another attitude. Okay, have a chat with your player.
I still think there's a sense that England believe that they're closer to the All Blacks in terms of man-on-man skills than they are, and they try and play a game to compete with them. When Young starts bringing runners off his shoulder, powerful people like Marland Yard, when Cipriani brings back Tuilagi through the middle, that's when you hurt New Zealand, and you've got to keep doing it. It's how they started the second test. They haven't had a chance tonight, but they've got to finish that way.
Law stayed up there for an age. And Rob Shaw calls on his men to get it rolling. Webber, referee wants it using Youngs. Tuilagi tries again. Where's the ball gone? England have it along the back line with Cipriani looking for support. Burrell hangs on to it. Well, he did. And then it was stripped away, and Savia thinks it's on the chase. And Tuilagi goes back. Where's the support for him now? And what he wants to do is line somebody up and take them with him, and it just didn't work.
Webber straight over the top there. That was clumsy. Tuilagi was going backwards because what he needs to do is build up a head of steam, and that's what he tried to do. Cipriani, a nice little show there. The attack going, but unfortunately things have not gone for Luther Burrell in this second half in terms of attack. He's helped tighten the defence up, and there's Tuilagi. He goes backwards and then targets McCaw. But the Cantabrian is up to the challenge.
And Barrett boots it out. So England again, nothing to show for that period of pressure.
No, but a little bit of a template, Miles. When they watch the videos, they start thinking to the first game of the Autumn International, they got 5 minutes there where they say that's how we can play against New Zealand. Not this rubbish we've been coming up with other aspects of this series. We have to be physical, we have to play channels against them. We can do that.
Delay, free kick. Kieran Reid, very different story in the second half that he is now watching. He played his part in a dominant first half, 29-6 at half time. 4 first half tries for New Zealand, 2 for Savia before we had time to take our seats, really. And 2 for Aaron Smith.
Wow, what a kick.
Cipriani striking it well. New Zealand. Maybe a little bit of frustration building for them. Cipriani again.
Where's the chase?
Bowden Barrett. The deflection takes it towards Mike Brown. Retallick throws him. Judo style, but through the middle. Referee doesn't mind that. He hasn't really cared about that all night. Caught McCall once, but that was in at the side. Youngs. Savia. Ben Smith. Chip into space. Who's covering? Marlon Yard. Now he might take some stopping here. Yard. And he's still going. Savia shows that he can defend as well as attack. Nonu wants to get it moving quickly. Well, the gloves are off now, aren't they? New Zealand, you can see their frustration. Messam brought it away. But then the sensible approach from Barrett, he didn't really have an option there, as England had men in front of him. But here's Marlon Yard.
Well, Ben Smith this time with a kick that's not really to anyone except Yard, and Yard explodes through the gap. Savea, that is a fantastic tackle. He drives him into touch there. But Yard with the ball in hand has done very well this second half. Savea, he's not going to let anything go. I think you're right. You know, New Zealand came out second half. They're 29-6 up. You know, you cannot pretend that that doesn't have a factor psychologically. England had more to play for. New Zealand have taken their foot off the gas, but now that England are really bringing the game to them, New Zealand obviously want to try and finish with their own flourish.
And a key man in all of that has just gone, Ben Youngs, replaced by Lee Dixon. Courtney Laws wins again. Just that one Marlon Yard try in this second half to show through all of this territory and possession. As the tour of the series, the long hard season for these England players begins to reach its conclusion. Can they finish on the high? Atwood on the hoof. Dixon, Cipriani, always that going. Referee again. And this is going to be a yellow card.
Has to be persistence.
It's a team
You come
card,
from the side, 2-minute penalty against you.
Yes, just too many, and Wyatt Crockett only just come on.
England just trying to play everything narrow now. They're trying to get their forward game going again. From the penalty, they've got into the corner again. Even Cipriani, they're not going on the wide pass. It's a little almost reverse kick back to try and catch New Zealand out. They haven't been able to outflank them, so they're going to have to try and drive them in this last 7-8 minutes. They've found a shape though, haven't they, in this half?
Morgan, bit of variation there, not to Laws this time. Dixon just steering the scrum half. They're nearly there. Atwood's got it. Dixon goes in. Morgan wants it. Savia's come in. And just the right amount of disruption from New Zealand, but they're having to work very hard indeed there, the All Blacks. And Barrett gets it away, and England will have to do it from distance now.
Fascinating difference in style though. In the first half, New Zealand, they could use their forwards and drive it, but then they cut England to pieces with the quality of their wide play. England's wide play simply at this level isn't up to it, but they've got to just tighten their game, play hard and fast. They can play with tempo, but not great width at the moment. Through the 15-metre channel, and they can hurt New Zealand.
Not sure Bowden Barrett would have thought that was sufficient advantage after the knock-on. Whitelock, fingertip stuff, McCall. That's one take from Whitelock. Mike Brown skirting with the touchline, but stayed in field. Chris Ashton to Marlon Yard, to Manu Tuilangi, and Ashton trying to get there on the outside. England certainly trying things. But as you say, it's been based on a much stronger template in this second half.
It has. They've got more foundations. They've got a bit more territory. And they're doing the right thing, trying things there. But, you know, you watch New Zealand, Surveyor and Reid, they turn that reverse round the back ball into a try. England, it goes into touch. Little things, but it's a big difference.
Not straight from New Zealand. Kevin Mearlam, 113 caps. Even the great can be a little off-kilter at times.
Fekatoa, gain line was his. When he ran hard. And against the All Blacks, you have to stop them early. His legs pump quickly. He sets up target for people defensively. He was aggressive. The Highlander, yeah, he had a pretty decent start, and that's a nice touch. Lovely dummy. Into the tackle, big stride.
He's still smiling. TJ Perenara will be smiling as well, because he's on for a third cap, replacing Aaron Smith at scrum half for the New Zealand All Blacks. What about the All Whites here? There's Perenara.
I wonder, Miles, England will be devastated by the first 40. Score stays this way, half-time 6:29 to Stuart Lancaster. The question, would you have taken 13-29? He might say no, but I wonder if England will be quite pleased with this half. Very.
China gone as well, sacrifice during this sin-bin period. England with the extra man. There's Dixon. Here's Cipriani looking for Yard again, but New Zealand and Crotty were waiting that time. Yard has been England's major attacking threat in this second half. He's the one who's got the try. Webber finding Mullen. No scrum half. Dixon there. Referee almost in the way. Cipriani pulls it back nicely for Brown. England know they could make this look a whole lot better if they got into the 20s themselves. And there's Kieran Brooks. And Dixon. Pat Morgan drops the ball, down goes Mearlam, double knock on.
Morgan was doing the right thing. He knew he had to straighten the line there. He was getting a little bit lateral. See that move there? Yard's best play is predicated on people fixing people and creating space for him. That time England went lateral, they set it up, and Ryan Crotty smashes him backwards.
So how do you interpret not just this second half but the game as a whole?
It's as we saw in the third quarter in Dunedin, in terms of man-for-man quality. New Zealand, though England don't accept that, I don't think, in terms of their management. They're a different class. And England have got to realise where they are, and they've got to maintain that the progress has to be steady. And they're trying to make a quantum leap in New Zealand. They haven't been able to do it. But I like the fact in the second half they recalibrated what they're trying to do. They've tightened up. They played off Ben Youngs, who had a very good half, and they've been able to just carry the game to New Zealand, as they did successfully for 20 minutes or so at the start and end in the second test. So they've learned something, but there has to be a caveat, and the caveat is when a team is 29-6 up at half-time, the foot does go off the pedal, and that you know, you can't just pretend that didn't happen.
Let's see if New Zealand can find that pedal again and thrust it to the floor, because that is their aim surely here, having failed to score a point in the second half. That's what wasn't quite part of the plan for Steve Hansen and his coaching team. Conrad Smith has been strolling around as the water boy tonight, taking on the messages, taking on the liquids too. Retallick goes and gets a big cheer. The Chief played well again.
He's a heck of a foot. Big gangly bloke, but such a clever player.
Patrick Tuipulotu is on. Laws wins line-out ball for England again. Must also be said in the final analysis of this tour how disruptive the whole selection process and the chopping and changing enforced for England has been. New Zealand much more of an opportunity to have the continuity in selection. Surely won't be the case during the World Cup or indeed November. But here's Ben Smith showing exactly what New Zealand have as well on that higher plane. Corey Jane, very unlike him, deciding to...
As Barrett goes back to recover.
No, you
There's
never
the
released.
penalty.
No. You never released. You don't respond to my call.
Into the corner now. I gather we lost commentary there for a second, Miles.
Yes, indeed we did.
And right on cue, I'm afraid Miles and Stuart have disappeared again. So as Beauden Barrett goes to the corner, we will bring in Sean Fitzpatrick and Will Greenwood watching on alongside. Surveyor has been a handful all night, and his little bust has led to this opportunity for the All Blacks, who will be desperate to finish with a bit of a flourish, Sean.
Well, I think they've shown their intent by not taking the shots at goal throughout this half. And here we go again, so hopefully they'll try to sort their line out. As Will and I were just discussing off air, you know, the line out and the set piece has been a real shambles, which hasn't given them the continuity to build their phases.
Credit to England, Will. They have limited the damage in a damage limitation exercise.
Absolutely, and they've created quite a few chances. They'll be disappointed not to have scored a couple. But again, here we go, defensively far better organised, real pride in the second half, and some subs have made a real impact.
Okay, I gather we've got Miles back on the phone, so we'll hand back to him.
Thanks, Alex. Sean talking about sorting the line out. Was he talking to us here? Well, we've got it fixed, I think. Apologies for that. And Ben Smith clears and finds his touch. And you shouldn't have mentioned it. Here's Burrell. Ashton. Last throws of the series then. And Chris Ashton is tackled by Martin Nonu. In goes Burrell again. Webber. Atwood and Mahuta. Looks like England are going to win the second half, if that's any consolation to them. But New Zealand have their whitewash in the series. And I think we knew that at half-time, given the 29-6 score at that point. Penalty to England, Ashton. Referee takes over and gives it to Dixon. Cipriani and Laws. New Zealand want the final set in, and they'll be looking to get this one off the field. Ben Smith, so much between these two at the moment, with another game to come in the autumn and a possible World Cup meeting in just over a year's time. So much is in the mind as well as the body at the moment. And New Zealand, despite the score, will not be chipping this over the white line. Perenara. Miolanu. Forward from McCall, maybe. Famaino off the floor, referee again. Gives it the wave on, let's play. Sarvia hasn't got to that hat-trick. But two inside the first 10 minutes or so. Crotty onto Famuina again. Perenara. Smith. Corey Jane. Oh, he's travelled well there. He's got to get the hat-trick. It's the perfect finish for Sarvia. For New Zealand. Whitewash complete. Over the men in white. 3-0 was always the favourite here. And the All Blacks, with this win, with that Sarvia hat-trick, now equal the world record of 17 matches won in a row.
It's the difference in class is the ability of New Zealand in 5-metre channels to finish. Savia is a world-class player. Corey Jane hasn't been at his best, but with Ben Smith, again, just stepping inside the challenges, England missing too many tackles, New Zealand make it look easy. I think England really, from this test, have to look at the first half and say, those are the levels we have to aspire to, those are the weaknesses we have to address. England must not say, didn't we have a good second half? Sometimes there's too many positives coming out of the negatives. England have to look in the mirror, say 3-0, we were well beaten, no excuses. This has been a setback today, no doubt about it.
And if this goes over, England haven't won the second half. They've shared it, but nothing shared about the series. As it turned out, the first test, despite the disruption to England in their build-up, was the golden chance. In the second test, they had a golden moment just before half-time, could have almost taken it away, but by half-time today, New Zealand had taken it away, and they had the series, and this, an emphatic win.
In doing so, the All Blacks have equalled their own record of 17 consecutive